Good morning, Maureen. Good morning, Angelina. Good morning, everybody in the entire universe. So, you know what I was actually just sitting here thinking about as I was deciding the cards and just being quiet and all those things. Good morning, Jenny. But what I was just thinking about, and let me see if I can verbalize this. So, it's what's the opposite of intuition? Is trying to convince myself that I'm wrong when I know I'm right. So I think that is the opposite of intuition. Trying to convince myself that I am wrong when I know that I'm right. And that comes down to like when reading tarot. Again, it's one of those things where trusting the cards and trusting what the cards say instead of what the books say. It's about going with the flow of what the sentences being laid in front of us as compared to what we think somebody else wants to hear. And then I was just thinking it's the same thing in real life though. It's we have our intuition. I shouldn't trust this person. The voice in the back of our head says that. And then we have to convince ourselves otherwise. I shouldn't do this is our first reaction, and then we have to convince ourselves that we should. So, yep, the opposite of intuition is convincing ourselves that we're wrong when we know that we are right. So, but I have been sitting here listening to the cards like they're the altuition, not altuition. But listening to the cards like they're the sounds of the ocean. Sitting here taking a breath and just being quiet and letting my little intuition mind, say things like, so what is the opposite of intuition then? Just listening to what the universe has to say about my outtuition. So I don't know about y'all, but my feet are flat on the floor and I'm rolling my ankles now because you guys just reminded me how good that feels. Oh, but doing the kitty dance, oh, that feels good. And then checking in with the shoulders. So I'm going to be at Bay Art this weekend, Bay Art Yoga, Brand Art Yoga, Bay this weekend. So I'm excited about that. So I'm going to be in Frederick. Then after the shoulders, oh, my neck. Taking that breath. Getting in touch with that or the intuition. Out with the outtuition. In with the intuition. Getting centered with the middle tuition. So, what are we going to do here today? This is where we get to check in with the universe, see if we have any angers or resentments, see if there's any voices that we're ignoring, and use the tarot as a mirror just to see what we got going on. I guess I was thinking about that as I was trying to decide which deck of cards to use. So, what am I going to do here now? So first, I'm going to make our 3 stacks. Each one a different thread going out to the universe. It's like each one's a different thought or idea. And if we believe in a multiverse, it's like each one of these is a different path. Because this stack will lead down one path. And this conversation's a totally different path from this one. And the question is, which thread do we want to pull? Which path do we want to take? And today, let's go with the bottom one, using that intuition. The bottom one are what I like to think of as things that are underneath that might be influencing us and we don't even realize it. So I'm going to do our 3 in 1. So flipping each card over one at a time like we're reading the Pages OA book. Ooh, didn't we just have the Knight of Cups? Again, we don't get, we get a lot of the same cards, and it's kind of amazing to me because it's this chain of events. It's these chain of cards that seem to influence what we want to think about each day. Maybe it's like reincarnation. Each spread is a new incarnation. And until we learn the lessons, maybe we need to get the same cards because there's a lesson that, us as a group that we need to hear. But with the Knight of Cups, Knights are the element of fire. Knights are our passion, our drive, our energy, our creativity. And cups are our spirituality, our emotions, and our feelings. So when we combine our emotions with fire, when we combine water with fire, sometimes, fire is just this fast movement action. And maybe sometimes when this is reversed, sometimes it's easier to react than to pause and breathe. So when we are, and court cards are our personality cards, right? So court cards can be you, could be me, could be part of the situation, could be somebody that we know. Court cards are not male or female, it's masculine energy, feminine energy. So when we have a reversed Knight, just imagine, sometimes we react first and then we think about it. Reacting first isn't putting our spiritual selves first. And cups are spirituality, emotions are feeling. When we react, we're not putting our spiritual selves first. We are putting our emotions and our feelings first. We say something, we do something, and then we stop and we analyze what just happened. So, which means with the card reversed, our Knight has got their back to the Ace of Swords. So, Ace of Swords, swords are our thoughts, our ideas, and sometimes our anxiety. Aces, again, are our seeds. So, again, we react first with the Knight of Cups reversed. We act first on the Knight of Cups reversed. And then we what? We think about it. We come up with our new ideas. Maybe we were even wrong. Maybe we were right. But is it, would we rather be right or happy when we're in a relationship? But still, it's our reactions that sometimes we stop and pause and say, I really need to think about this. So let's see what the next card is. It's our card that comes up all the time again. Jenny, this is our herding cats. You can see all the cattails right here. We can see this person up here. They've got their wand. They're trying to get these cats all lined up. It's a 7 of wands. And again, wands are our fire, our passion, creativity, and our actions. And then 7s are potential, drive, ambition. As we're trying to go from the numerology from 1 to 10. It's a race sometimes. And we're just trying to get to 10. And 7, we're just we've gone over the 5s. We've gone over hills. We've done this. And it's just, we have all these things we still need to do. And sometimes it's so frustrating. Again, I love that she has 2 different shoes on this person. We get up, we don't even put the right socks on. So this is one of those situations where we get caught up in life. Things happen and we just react instead of allowing ourselves to listen to our intuition, to take a moment, to breathe, because, it's the middle of the day and we're not thinking like that. We're juggling. We have things we need to get done. We have things we need to keep in the air. And the last thing we need is for somebody to throw another ball in the air. And so we drop it. And we have our choices. And then we stop. It's like, all right, I need to just stop and I need to reorganize. which is our Ace of Swords. And then what do? Sometimes we don't have a new plan. You know, our Ace of Swords is to do what we've always done, just start it from scratch. And then we get back up on the rock and we start organizing the cats again. So this is the top 3 cards look like your reverse intuition. Exactly. So, you know, this is where kind of repeating patterns, where it's a spiral. It's where we're not taking that moment. And so our intuition is saying, I know, you know, intuition is saying, I just need to take this break. I need to, you know, I've got my Ace of Swords here. Maybe I need to take the extra 5 minutes first, because that's what my brain is saying. You know, the intuition is saying, take the 5 minutes, walk outside. But then I convince myself I'm wrong and I jump right back into it. So yeah, this is that intuition. This is, you know, oh man, I know how I'm feeling. Okay, I'm awake now and I realize the voice in the back of my head is giving me a new idea, but I'm convincing myself I'm wrong. And I'm going to jump back up on the rock because I have too many things to do. So the advice card, if the advice card is the high priestess, the papist, I'm just going to be like, I'm going to quit the tarot because that's too coincidental. No, this is a good day to day spread. So when we have the 9 of coins, so let's see, we have our cups, we have our swords, we have our wands, and we have coins. We're covering all of our bases here. We have water, we have air, we have fire, we have earth. 9s, oh my gosh, that 9s are about fulfillment. 9s are about completion. 9s are, you know, we're moving into the 10, and the 10 is when we're completing the cycle. And so coins are grounding. Coins are home, health, finances, all the things that help keep us grounded. I mean, look at that fulfillment she has right here. Right? But this card was reversed. So we have this goal, especially just to the end of the day. These are minors. There's no majors here, which are the big destiny cards. The minors lead to the big destiny cards. But at the end of the day, we want to feel fulfilled. We want to have this advice card turned around, don't we? That says, you know what? I had my elements of water, air, and fire. I got them under control. Even if the middle of the day got a little bit hectic, maybe didn't go the way I wanted, and now I can sit back at my home with the 9 of coins and relax. So that's the goal today, is that instead of just living in the moment, which is this, remember we're still going to have to face ourselves at the end of the day. So this is just asking us to listen to our intuition, you know, the Ace of Swords. And when we do need to jump back up on that rock, you know, because we need to get stuff done. The 7 of Wands, does it have to just be herding cats, or can it be just, it's like, you know, I'll be honest, we are going to Boston in next week, and we're still getting in a hotel. So, you know, I can treat this as a panic situation, or I can just say, you know what, today, which now that I'm talking about it, I'm just going to get the hotel room. And then that way, with the advice card reminding us, we can either end the day with the 9 of coins reversed, where we're not feeling fulfilled, or, and hold on, goodness gracious, or we can get up on the rock, do what we need to do, but listening to, because here's where we react. We listen to that Ace of Swords that says, all right, we need to start from the beginning. We need to get this stuff done. But let's do it the Ace of Swords way of doing it. And if we do that, then we have turned this card around and we feel more fulfilled. And thank you, Jenny. So today, it's about recognizing sometimes we need to get up on that rock and get things done. But we can do that by listening to our intuition, coming up with a different way of doing it, making a plan, saying instead of just throwing everything against the wall to see what sticks, I'm going to use the Ace of Swords and devise a plan. So it's organized madness instead of disorganized. No, so it's just so we're organized in how we finish out the multiple things going on. And then we have her reversed. And so with that, again, I hope everybody has that amazing, amazing, amazing day today. Just remember, we want to keep that 9 of coins right side up. And that's the goal, and we do that by, even if things are a little bit nuts and out of our control, we can still take a breath and listen to our intuition and make a plan. Take care, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow.
Stars in the sky, cards in my hand, searching for signs, lost in the sand, whispers of fate, echoes